What's up, guys? Just another quick tip for you. I'm here at a wedding in Arizona. It's a gorgeous wedding, having a great time. And a lot of you still have questions about how to set up your audio with a DJ. So I just want to quickly go over how I do it at my weddings, and hopefully you can apply that to your weddings and have a seamless process, because it is stressful. I know it's stressful. It's annoying. It's just one more thing you have to worry about, but those results in the wedding video are worth it. They're amazing. You want audio to help carry your story forward. So here we go. We got two options here. We got our Zoom H1N. I love this thing. It's small, it's compact, it has auto mode, and it just does a great job. The issue that I'm running into a lot with this is because it's on auto and I don't always set my gain levels, it'll try to compensate for those dead spaces when someone stops talking by shooting the gain up a lot, and then when they start talking, it'll try to bring it back down really quickly. So sometimes it goes all over the place, but for the most part, it's a great job. And yes, you can always just set your gain levels. But again, you guys, we say all the time, you get what you pay for. So here I have my Zoom F6. Now the Zoom F6 is a beast. It has 6 outputs. I never use all 6. And this thing records 32-bit floating audio, which means you're shooting raw audio. So it doesn't matter what the gain's at, because you can adjust that later in post. So if they're spiking, if it's really quiet, you can adjust that manually in post. So I'm using the Zoom F6 for this wedding today because I don't want to really be worrying about adjusting the gain based on who's speaking, because sometimes, you know, with a lot of toasts, the groomsmen, the bridesmaid, they all talk at different levels. One talks really loud, one talks very soft, and I have to adjust that and worry about my cameras and my audio. It's stressful. So I bought this so I could rely on this to do the work for me. And I was going to show you guys this live as I was doing it downstairs, but it's very loud down there. So I'm just gonna tell you how I do it now, and we'll show you B-roll of what I'm saying downstairs. So first things first, I find the DJ and I ask him what his setup's like. I ask him, how can I plug into your system without interfering at all? If you just come in with your stuff and say, hey, I'm gonna plug into your stuff, they just kind of get turned off by you. So you wanna be respectful of their equipment, it's their stuff. You don't wanna interfere with their work. So approach them with respect and be like, hey, I have my audio stuff, I'm the videographer, I wanna capture these toasts, these vows. This DJ is awesome, he's really cool, he's really nice about it. He said he had an auxiliary out, which will allow me to tap into his feed and control the audio without interfering. So once I talk to the DJ and I find out what output he has for me, I go to my bag and make sure I have that cable, which is why I bought like 1,000 cables, because you never know what equipment is needed. For this wedding specifically, I needed a male XLR cable to plug into my Zoom to a 1/4-inch cable. If I was using the Zoom H1N, I would need a 1/4-inch cable to a 3.5mm cable. And if I was gonna be plugging into his speakers, which he suggested as well, I would need a male to female XLR cable. So it's just better to get all the cables you need, and we'll put that link below, but all the cables you could possibly need for a wedding. I recommend dropping 10-20 bucks on all of these cables just to have them in case you need them. Here is the 1/4-inch, we'll plug into his system, and here is the male XLR cable, which will plug into my input right there. For boards that look like his, it's always in the back of his board. So I'll plug that into his booth out, and I'll plug in my headphones to my Zoom F6 and have him do some test audio to make sure that's working. And I'll adjust my gain based on what I'm hearing to make it sound, you know, decent, even though I know I can adjust it in post, where it's peaking around -6 or -12 dBs. So once that's all set up, I make sure it's all plugged in. I double check everything a couple times, and I'll hit record once the toasts start. And as I'm filming periodically, usually after every toast, there's usually 3 or 4. After every one, I'll go back to the DJ's table and just double check on this to make sure it's recording, make sure the audio is still coming into the feed. I've had times where the recording has stopped or whatever reason, the battery dies. So I always check on it periodically every 3, 4, 5 minutes. You don't want to just let it go for half an hour, come back and see that it died 2 minutes in. So that's why I take precautions like an external battery, double checking it so that I can rely on it to capture high quality audio. So you guys, a quick tip, hope that helps. Again, if I were using the Zoom H1N on auto, all you have to do is find a 1/4-inch 3.5mm cable, turn it on and hit record, and let the Zoom do all the work. You could also turn off auto mode if you're worried about those influxes in dB levels, and adjust the gain mainly by using this little top knob here. But I recommend, if you're doing that, to make sure you're adjusting the gain for every toast giver, because everyone's voice is different, different loudnesses, different pitches, so you just want to make sure it sounds good on every person. But you guys, that's it for our quick tip today. I hope that helps. If you have any further questions, please let me know.